There's a reason why people call Sophie Cunningham MAGA Barbie, and people are starting to fill the arenas to watch her and Caitlin Clark. She's not apologizing for saying that there should be no men in this woman's sport. It's caused an absolute crisis, and people are losing their mind. Photo of Brittney Griner, a full beard after being released from a Russian prison.
The WNBA's Brittney Griner is a man.
Brittney Griner files for divorce from wife.
That's not a woman. That's not a female. That's not even a trans person. That is a man.
Every player should be subjected to a DNA test to prove that they're women.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
Welcome back to the Buzzer Update. I'm back with yet another fascinating and thrilling video. Although Brittney Griner has been discussed in our earlier movies, today's video is entirely different and even more fascinating. We're delving into a dispute involving Benny Johnson's remarks, Sophie Cunningham's response, and the most recent developments surrounding the topic that has generated a lot of discussion among WNBA fans. There is a lot to unpack, so be sure to watch until the very end. Now let's get started. The present cultural and administrative earthquake in the WNBA is moving its epicenter faster than league administrators could have imagined.
Again, cultural power. This is why the WNBA this is not going to go away. This issue is not going to go away. They're in such a bad position here. Caitlin Clark, they have cultural power. People love them. People are buying tickets that would never care about the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
These women spent $1,000 on tickets to attend the Indiana Fever versus Atlanta Dream game, specifically to see Sophie Cunningham.
At a time when Caitlin Clark is breaking attendance records, creating unprecedented television ratings, and driving the league into a multi-million-dollar economic rebirth on her own.
A woman decided to stand up for women and female spaces. And that woman is now getting lambasted by other women because she doesn't support transgender people in female spaces. Sophie Cunningham, who many of you will probably know from this video, recently got herself in hot water because she had the audacity to say that women and girls should be protected.
Senior officials are facing a challenging circumstance. A national campaign was sparked by Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham, who insisted that female athletes should not have to compete against biological men and took a firm, uncompromising stance to protect women's sports and private spaces.
And why people call Sophie Cunningham MAGA Barbie, and people are starting to fill the arenas to watch her and Caitlin Clark.
WNBA star Sophie Cunningham, who plays guard for the Indiana Fever, when an ESPN feature quoted her opposition towards biological men competing in women's sports. She said she wanted to protect young girls both on court as well as in the locker room, calling her position kind of common sense. It has everything to...
Despite attempts by major media experts to silence her with severe criticism, fans nationally mobilized by jamming arenas to support both Cunningham and Clark.
League run by women decided a shirt wearing saying "for the girls" was too offensive. Meanwhile, State Farm Arena put up a pro-trans message on the big screen but won't allow the shirt that states basic biological. What is so offensive or scary about this message? The genetic message of gender, the genetic message of biological sex. Wow, the WNBA doesn't know what a woman is, but the shirts that reference the XX chromosomes are banned.
However, when prominent media commentators like Benny Johnson entered the fight to expose what they perceived to be grave institutional hypocrisy, the dispute erupted into a national spectacle. A high-stakes dispute about fan censorship, unfair practices, and the fundamentals of women's professional basketball has replaced simple court commentary.
There's voice.
I believe what you said was effing white girl. Is it possible that's what you said?
No, would never say that.
Brittney Griner called Caitlin Clark trash and effing white girl. Trash, effing white girl.
Brittney Griner, who I can't stand, sad that she's a Baylor grad. She called her a trash, expletive white girl. That was the lip reading. Yes, trash, white girl.
The heated game between the Indiana Fever and the Atlanta Dream at State Farm Arena showcased the immense cultural influence of Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. Thousands of fans paid top dollar to support Cunningham and see Clark's generational playmaking ability. However, the event quickly turned into a league security administrative nightmare.
Yes, they gave us t-shirts during overtime and told us we had to leave.
And this says for the girl.
Or cover our shirts. This just happened.
Where were you sitting?
Floor
4-3, row
C.
Yeah.
Third row of floor 3.
And how much were your seats?
$1,000 each around.
Yeah. And we did nothing. Like we were just sitting there. I didn't make signs.
Several fans wearing XXXY brand t-shirts with a clear message for the girls in favor of female athletic integrity were confronted by stadium staff during overtime and instructed to cover their shirts or leave the area. After the strict enforcement sparked an immediate viral outcry on social media that garnered millions of views, the WNBA and the Atlanta Dream were compelled to issue official public statements admitting that security should never have restrained those supporters.
The NBA, of course, doesn't want to make anything political. Here they are welcoming the Honorable Stacey Abrams. The Honorable Stacey Abrams. Well, what has she done that's honorable? What's dishonorable is that at that same game, a mother wore a XXXY Athletics for the girls with her daughter apparel. This is a brand that, of course, is defending women in women's sports, and she got kicked out of the game. And you can see there somebody a fan flipping them off, whether this is a board member, potentially. Look at this. Whether that's a board member of the WNBA, but she doesn't know what a woman is, right? Like, what are these?
In stark contrast, paid supporters with basic biological ideas were suppressed while political leaders were applauded from the rafters. The encore victory, however, was quickly overshadowed by the mounting pressure around the league's wider eligibility crisis as pundits like Benny Johnson exposed the absurd double standards at play. The WNBA was overwhelmingly urged to adopt objective, science-based eligibility regulations.
Why is the WNBA unable to define what a woman is? We all know what a woman is. XX chromosome. Y chromosome, you're a man. And you can't change your chromosome. You can get plastic surgery. You can lop off body parts. You can put on lipstick. You can put on wigs, but you can't change that. And so why not just define it based on gender assigned at birth? You're born with these sex organs, you're born with these chromosomes, so that's what makes you a woman. The WNBA has spent 6 days trying to figure out what the W in the WNBA stands for, and they still don't have anything.
Johnson pointed out that despite the league's failure to offer clear biological criteria in its governing regulations, commentators and podcasters like Joe Rogan are openly arguing long-standing rumors regarding potential male involvement in women's professional sports. Corporate leadership's refusal to confront these fundamental issues is causing severe anxiety in the sport, which has previously generated unfounded fears about player testing and highlighted prominent senior stars. Brittney Griner, a center for the Phoenix Mercury, became the subject of intense online investigation. This caused a wave of institutional panic that could have destroyed the league's credibility.
Why people call Sophie Cunningham MAGA Barbie, and people are starting to fill the arenas to watch her and Caitlin Clark. She's not apologizing for saying that there should be no men in this woman's sport. It's caused an absolute crisis, and people are losing their mind. Photo of Brittney Griner, a full beard after being released from a Russian prison.
The WNBA's Brittney Griner is a man.
Brittney Griner files for divorce from wife.
That's not a woman. That's not a female. That's not even a trans person. That is a man.
Every player should be subjected to a DNA test to prove that they're women.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
The public's trust has been severely damaged by the WNBA's administrative ambiguity, as evidenced by the intense public scrutiny surrounding Phoenix Mercury center Brittney Griner. As media figures like Benny Johnson exaggerated the current Sophie Cunningham incident, online sports criticism quickly switched to previous player biographies and long-standing league policies. Citing earlier interviews, contentious social media discussions, and past player traits, including Griner's well-known international comeback, commentators questioned whether league officials have been purposefully avoiding mandatory genetic or chromosomal testing. The catastrophic failure of the WNBA administration is demonstrated by the fact that online speculations and viral commentary over Griner's gender are dominating national sports headlines. Even the league's most well-known legacy stars are vulnerable to public speculation since the league administration has refused to set clear, objective biological requirements, despite the fact that these allegations are still completely unsubstantiated and primarily based on online conversation rather than official league conclusions.
the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
Yeah, she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
In the midst of this administrative storm, Caitlin Clark is the ideal illustration of what makes women's professional basketball truly remarkable. Neither political posturing nor performance cliches have contributed to Clark's extraordinary rise. It is entirely predicated on remarkable skill, an unshakable work ethic, and extraordinary talent. Her deep logo threes, incredible court vision, and fierce competitive spirit have attracted millions of new ardent fans to the sport. Clark has shown that fans are prepared to embrace true athletic greatness, packed historic NBA arenas, and raise team valuations on his own. As league management strives to manage PR issues and avoid tough decisions, Clark bears responsibility for the sport's cultural and commercial future each time she hits the court. Ultimately, the WNBA must admit that it can no longer act hypocritically or threaten fans who advocate for the survival of female athletes. As demonstrated by the recent security lapses at State Farm Arena and the outcry against SOPHIE Cunningham, the public is demanding complete transparency, fair competition, and common sense. Executives must immediately alter the league's governing documents to give clear, unbiased biological standards that safeguard female competitors and restore the integrity of the sport. Every athlete on the court, including Caitlin Clark and SOPHIE Cunningham, has a responsibility to the league to protect the sport they have worked so hard to establish. They have given supporters a voice and added an unprecedented level of energy to women's basketball. What are your thoughts on Benny Johnson's comments and the ongoing dispute over WNBA eligibility rules? Do you believe the league should immediately require clear biological testing to protect female athletes? Or do you think senior leadership can manage the situation? Use the comment section below to share your thoughts. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more reliable, fact-based WNBA analysis. And that's precisely where this whole discussion ends. What began as a discussion about SOPHIE Cunningham and her vocal opinions has grown to encompass much more than just one player, one team, or even one contentious game. It has evolved into a national dialogue regarding women's basketball's future, the regulations governing the sport, fan rights, and the league's obligations when politics and emotions clash with professional competition. No matter how much you agree or disagree with SOPHIE Cunningham, one thing is certain: people are taking notice. Even those who had never seen a WNBA game before are now discussing the league, purchasing tickets, discussing its rules, and packing venues to see celebrities like Cunningham and Caitlin Clark. For any professional sports organization, that kind of attention is quite valuable. However, attention also entails accountability. Serious concerns about consistency have been highlighted by the uproar over fan removals, the girls' clothing, and the larger discussion concerning eligibility requirements. Fans want to know what the rules are, why they exist, and whether everyone is treated equally under them. Athletes should, however, be able to compete in a setting free from online rumors, viral disputes, and personal attacks. And this is where the conversation on Brittney Griner needs to be handled with caution. Many rumors about Griner are making the rounds on the internet, but social media conjecture, manipulated photos, viral posts, and opinion are not the same as solid proof. Without solid proof, the claims shouldn't be offered as proven truths. Regardless of one's viewpoint on WNBA policies, the strongest argument is always one that is supported by facts, official regulations, and open standards rather than hearsay. The WNBA is going through a special period in its history, so that distinction is important. Women's basketball has received a great deal of attention thanks to Caitlin Clark. She has become one of the most well-known figures in the sport thanks to her shooting range, passing prowess, competitive spirit, and ability to connect with younger fans. And when a player gains that kind of influence, everything around her is magnified. Every game receives increased attention. More people click on each controversy. Any statement has the potential to make headlines. League leadership currently has a chance because of this. The WNBA can offer clarification rather than letting ambiguity rule the discussion. The league can officially and consistently explain its regulations rather than letting social media dictate the rules. Additionally, officials can develop an open framework that handles eligibility, competitive fairness, and fan behavior in a way that is understandable to all parties, rather than letting fans, players, pundits, and organizations talk past one another. Because this is ultimately meant to be about basketball. It is about the athletes who practice at this level for years. It is about the young girls who watch from the stands and want to play professionally in the future. It concerns the fans who purchase tickets with their hard-earned cash. It's also about creating a league that can withstand controversy without losing sight of the sport itself. Women's basketball has never had a greater focus, as evidenced by the ascent of Caitlin Clark, SOPHIE Cunningham's outspoken personality, and the massive interest surrounding the WNBA. However, the league may be defined for years by what transpires next. Will the WNBA be more open in its response to criticism? Will it make its eligibility policies more understandable? Will fans and players keep demanding answers? Above all, is it possible for the league to use this situation as a chance to increase trust? These are the unanswered questions. I want to hear from you now. Do you believe that the WNBA should make its eligibility rules more apparent? Do you think that, as long as they abide by standard venue regulations, supporters should be free to voice their opinions inside arenas? What are your thoughts on the increasing interest in SOPHIE Cunningham and Caitlin Clark? This discussion is obviously not going away anytime soon, so please share your honest thoughts in the comments. You already know what to do if you've come this far. To ensure you don't miss the next big WNBA story, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications. The next chapter could be even more significant since Caitlin Clark, SOPHIE Cunningham, and the rest of the league are still making headlines. Stay educated, stay tuned, and most importantly, let's continue the discussion regarding women's basketball. This is far from the end of the story.